Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Magic Mondays. Today we're looking at a deck called Then What Happened with Caparocti Sunborn as the commander. 4 mana for a 4/4 legendary uncommon human soldier. Whenever he attacks, you may tap 2 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control. If you do, discover 3. Discover is exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. So this deck is kind of weird. It's actually very expensive, as I'll show you in a second. Average mana cost is 4.2, which might be the highest so far on this channel. Predominantly white, good splash of red, quite a few artifacts. 20 creatures, 19 artifacts, 3 sorceries, 9 enchantments, 8 planeswalkers, and a battle, and an extra land because, 4.2. So the idea is get this guy out, tap some artifacts, bring some stuff into play. In the meantime, play expensive stuff. It's kind of a weird theme. It sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't, but it is fun to play. And that's really what this series is all about. So what kind of artifacts and or creatures are we tapping? Well, we make treasure tokens with this. We make treasure tokens with this. We can tap these and the treasure tokens without having to sacrifice them to discover. What kind of things are we discovering? A lot of swords. Once and Future, Forge and Frontier, Body and Mind. So we have green and blue protection, we have red and green protection, we have blue and black protection. So those are all possible options for what will come up when we discover. Also, a couple of mana rocks, the amazing Thematic Compass, and our first Planeswalker, Basri Ket, who can put 1/1 counters on things to make them indestructible until end of turn, like our commander. And eventually you want to get out that ultimate, if possible, to, at the beginning of each combat, beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 soldier creature token and put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. It's an amazing ultimate, and you want to do that as soon as possible if you can. But why? Why are we doing all this? Well, 2 mana rocks, some treasure token generation, because all this stuff, look at the cost of this stuff. We got 7, 7, 7. We have 3 cards with 7 mana. Ancient Gold Dragon, Elish Norn, and a Chroma's Memorial, which will give them protection from red and black without being a sword. So it's expensive stuff. Wormcoil Engine, it's cool. 6 for a 6/6 that will create tokens when it dies. Embercleave, because I don't know why not. Everything else in this deck is so expensive. This new God guy. If 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, create 3 times as many instead. Now, he is part of the key, or at least refers to part of the key, which is token generation, specifically creature token generation. Let's go back to this Wormcoil Engine. When it dies, create a 3/3 colorless worm artifact token with Death Touch and a 3/3 with Lifelink. If this God is out and my Wormcoil Engine dies, I'm making 6 tokens. 3 with Death Touch, 3 with Lifelink. Inspiring Commander. Let me show you a quick little combo here that's very fun if difficult to get out. So this guy, 6 mana for a 1/4. That's terrible, but whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life and draw a card. Well, he pairs really nicely with this Ancient Gold Dragon, which whenever it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20 and create that many 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying equal to that result. So you get this guy out, you hit with this thing, you're going to draw a lot of cards and gain a lot of life. Other things that make tokens. This commander, for 0, create a 3/3 dinosaur token with trample. This guy here, flying, first strike, very cool dinosaur dragon. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exile a land card, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If it was a non-land card, make a treasure token. Stuff to tap and more creature tokens. Virtue of Loyalty, make a 2/2 white knight. And if you play it as an enchantment, at the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and untap those creatures. That one is stupid strong. Terror of the Peaks, we're making all these tokens. This guy, just ping, 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 all this little damage. It's great. Tybalt, one of our commanders. +1, add 2 red, red, and draft a creature, basically. Which is really nice. We can just get creatures out every turn with that. Or for -X, create X 1/1 devil tokens. So the idea is lots of tokens, which is why we have Osier Talk here. And it's also why we have... where is the card we have in play? I can't find it. Anointed Procession. That's what I was trying to think of. If an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many instead. So yeah, even this enchantment is in here specifically for the whenever it deals combat damage to a player, make a human soldier token. Because you want to make soldier tokens. You want to make all the tokens. A Johnny can return stuff to the battlefield, but it's pretty much to try to get that ultimate. So at the beginning of your end step, create 3 1/1 white cat tokens with lifelink. This Ajani. For -2, create a white cat soldier token named Ajani's Pridemate. Everybody knows what that does. It's an awful card to face. Commanding Presence. That's the one we just showed you. Elish Norn. I've got various Elish Norns in here, but this one can cause some damage, actually. So whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1, which is nice. Just as a inconvenience, I suppose. Felidar Retreat. We can make some white creature beast tokens, or white cat beast tokens, or put 1/1 counters on creatures whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control. War Leader makes some cats whenever he attacks. This Luminous Broodmoth is nice because we only have 19 creatures in this deck, but this can bring them back for, double fun. Mangara lets us draw some cards and also has lifelink, so it makes a pretty good blocker here. Oh, and then there's Mondrak. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many are created instead. So we have multiple things that can create multiple tokens, and some of them, like this one, also counts for treasure tokens, so that's pretty fun. Morel makes some tokens whenever it attacks. Audric is in here because he is just a nasty boy. So at the beginning of each combat, regardless of whose turn it is, creatures you control gain first strike, flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, skulk, trample, and vigilance if I have another creature that already has those abilities. So if I have Mangara out with Odric, then all of my creatures get lifelink at the beginning of combat each turn. It's just a nice bonus, I suppose. What else we got here? We can make some white flying angel tokens with Starnheim Unleashed. We can make more treasure tokens with Smothering Tithe. We've got this Chandra here, which is really nice to just add some mana and be a pain, honestly. Delina, the Wild Mage, she'll make some copies of creature tokens that are attacking, and depending on who else is out, she might make lots of copies of them. JF Fiery Negotiator makes a 1/1 Red Monk creature token. Krenko, Goblin tokens. Zariel, creatures you control get +1/0 and gain haste until end of turn, or make a devil token. Good options there. This Aurelia is in here because she has Mentor. She's a 2/5 flyer, and at the beginning of combat on my turn, if I target Caparocti Sunborn with her ability, it gets +2/0 trample and vigilance, because why not? Here's our one battle. It's the Invasion of Kylum. When it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures get +2/0 and gain vigilance and haste until end of turn. And then when I actually defeat this battle, I create 2 3/2 red and white warrior creature tokens with whenever this creature and at least one other creature token attack, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So if I attack with both of those warrior tokens every turn, each turn they both get +1/1 tokens on them, or counters on them. Cosmos Elixir for some scrying, some life gain, whatever. 1 ring, lots of draw power. More mana rock, more mana rock. Put in Maskwood Nexus, because for 3 mana and tapping it, you make a creature token. And it's a changeling, so it's good against like those anti-tribal cards. Solemn Simulacrum, get a land, draw a card, whatever. Cathar's Crusade can get real stupid if you've got one of those token multipliers in play, because whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So if I'm making 6 Phyrexian Worm tokens, to use that earlier example, everything will get 6 + 1/1 counters on it, which is stupid. Here's the other Elish Norn. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. This plus Cathar's Crusade, just forget about it. Your opponent's going to scoop. Some removal here with Elspeth Conquers Death. God Eternal Oketra. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. Nice. Simple. So that's the deck. We got some lands here. We put in Nykthos. We put in some dual-colored lands. We even put in a Den of the Bugbear, because whenever it attacks, it makes a 1/1 red creature goblin token that's tapped and attacking. So even this land can be a useful token generator, as can this one, Cassin Ardenvale, which for 4 mana, tapping it, create a 1/1 white human creature token. So depending on the circumstances, you might just want to be making those tokens, or if you've got Cathar's Crusade out, if you just forget about it. You could give everything 1/1 counters every single turn. So this was just a weird, stupid, like, creature token deck that I wanted to play with. I picked Caparocti because I do like using uncommon commanders. I just think it's more fun than, you know, I could go and make this same deck and use what? Where is she? Like, I could use Huatli, Mythic Rare, or I could use Aurelia, Mythic Rare. Is it a better deck? Yeah, probably. Is it as much fun, and is it as satisfying? No, it's not. So, you know, these games with this commander, they're very hit and miss, but it's fun because it's not a usual commander that you see, and that's kind of the point of this series. So, friends, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope I think we've only got maybe 3 games this time, so they're longer games than some of the other, like the Stormbreaker one was a bunch of short games. This is a little bit more long strategery going on here. But if you enjoy this video, please like the video. Please comment. Please tell me that it's stupid to want to have fun with this game and I should just put all mythic rares in a deck because that's what you all want to see. Whatever. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my other stuff. As always, please be kind to yourselves and each other. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy some games. We'll see you again very soon.